Hi, everybody. Welcome to this episode of Said Differently, sponsored by Troupe. I'm Jennifer Sikora. I'm still getting over this persistent cold and sinus infection, so bear with me if I have a little bit of congestion and phlegm. I'm really excited to welcome today's guest, Ali Hanyaloglu, who is a amazing senior product marketing leader that I've recently met in the last few months and that Troop got connected to through the Product Marketing Alliance. And Ali is a top 100 product marketer based on what the Product Marketing Alliance. He was a finalist for Product Marketer of the Year. So super excited to have you, Ali. Thanks for joining.
Oh, Jennifer, it's great to be here. Thank you for the invitation. And yeah, I hope you're feeling better soon. I know how tough it is to be
I
able to
mean, the
do
good thing
when
with
you're under the weather.
a videotaping is I'm sure by the time anybody watches this, I'll be feeling better. So,
Absolutely.
uh, today's topic I'm excited about because you and I had some amazing conversations leading up to this about the career journey of a product marketer and what it really means to sort of elevate yourself professionally, put yourself on a career path, potentially even to the CMO seat
Yeah.
if that's the goal. But Ali, before we dig into that, why don't you give folks a quick background of you and how you came into this role and what you've recently been doing.
Yeah, sure thing. I came into product marketing about 18 years ago now. I know this because my daughter was born. That was why I knew this. And I came from a field role. I was in technical pre-sales, different titles, of course. And moving into product marketing gave me a chance to be able to scale myself. So the things that I was able to do, I could help others to be able to tell those stories and give those demos and what have you, and have those
It's
interactions that
kind
I
of
found
great that you
valuable.
had that background leading into the
Yeah,
move. Yeah.
exactly. It's one thing I often say is, if I'm going to be put in front of a sales team, yeah, as they say, I've carried a bag before, and I've been on that front line.
Yeah.
And so a lot of that I still bring to the table. I've been fortunate. I've been able to grow in my career as a product marketer into leadership roles, both at large companies like Adobe, and smaller companies like Akeneo and Amplience more recently, and everything in between across industries and verticals and team sizes. I've been very fortunate that I've had an opportunity to get involved in so many different aspects of the product marketing role, which we're going to talk a little bit about today.
Yeah, and you're involved, I know, with the Product Marketing Alliances. I think it's the Boston chapter. Is that the name of that chapter? Or
Um, I'm actually I'm actually involved with them quite globally.
oh,
In a
okay.
way. Yeah,
Even
so it's not,
better.
I mean, yes, I do a lot locally here in Boston area, but I also helped out in New York. I've presented at other locations as well. I've done things online with them. I was just rediscovering some interviews that I had done with the Product Marketing Alliance and are now transcribed online. So yeah, it's actually been a number of things I've been
I mean, I
doing.
really think it's great because it's really that organization and the alliance. I know they have different tracks of the alliance, but the product marketing a focus area is really working hard to really develop this discipline and get people professionally developed on this
Yes.
journey. So
Yes.
I did a little bit of digging before our session, and product marketing is not a new function. Newsflash. It actually, according to ChatGPT, it originated back in the 1960s, but mostly in the sort of consumer product arena. But then it started really emerging in the tech industry in the early 80s. And then Pragmatic Institute, which a lot of people who've been around the block
hmm
are very familiar with.
hmm
Really kind of they were the first sort of marketing, product management, professional organization. They started in like the mid 90s. So the product marketing function's been around for a while. But let me ask you this, because every time I talk with product marketing leaders or product marketing people, they lament how this role is still not well understood. Why do you think that is?
Yeah, I see this all the time. And I've been asking myself the same question. Um, and I'm not sure what it is. Maybe it's because it is seen as being a role that's about content about your product,
Hmm.
which yeah, is a part of what a product marketer does, but it's a part of it. It's a piece of the pie.
Yeah.
Or maybe they say, no, product marketing, it's all about making sure we've got the message developed and we need to make sure that the story that we're telling is the right one. So that's product marketing's role. And they've got to make sure they enable everybody on that one as well.
Sure.
And that's, I think, has been part of the challenge, which that is that product marketing, if you look, whether you look at the Product Marketing Alliance and their work, pragmatic, serious, the old serious decisions, when they
Yeah.
were calling it portfolio marketing,
Oh, yeah.
it actually covers so many other vital functions
Hmm.
that I find there is a real mixture of product marketers are not doing those things or not embracing them in some way. And that covers everything, the gamut from, personas and customer journey. Yeah, I've come across product marketers who aren't doing that or aren't doing it enough.
Yeah.
Competitive intelligence and positioning,
Yeah.
pricing and packaging,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Product marketing is
Sometimes product
ideally suited to
marketers are
this.
not, they're left out of the pricing
They're left
discussion.
out of it, exactly, but they're actually ideally suited to do that. Going into strategy around go to market,
Hmm.
product roadmap, what's
Yes.
coming next, and getting
Yes.
involved in that. May not lead it, may be working with product, but should be involved. Brand.
Yeah.
I've had conversations with others also saying how product marketers are actually ideally suited to take on brand strategy and marketing as well. It's something I've been fortunate that I've been able to do as well.
Yeah.
Launch processes. What about customer marketing and customer advocacy, AR and PR? The list goes on.
It does. It
And
does.
I honestly, as much as I love all my other brothers and sisters in other marketing roles, I do believe that product marketing, if you look at it as a whole, is the most diverse set of capabilities that that role could have.
It's a big tent. There's a lot of stuff there that you've listed, and I'm nodding my head to all of it, right? And it's only going to become more challenging because AI and engineers using things like Claude Code are now going to accelerate product feature release, right? And so now there's going to be even more to keep up with potentially on the product release and launch side, and that's going to put even more pressure on product marketers to
Yes, I agree.
respond to
I
that.
agree in terms of, and so many different ways, not just in terms of how they're using this very cool technology that we now call AI,
Yeah,
but also how it is affecting other roles and other things, like you said, in terms of the product roadmap, for
yeah,
them to be able to be respond more quickly. I wasn't going to use the word agile there because that's overused. But they need to be able to be ready for those
yeah,
and respond accordingly.
yeah.
It gets to the point, I've even had conversations with many individuals to say, is product marketing even the right title for what we do?
Oh yeah. Well, and that's a great brainstorm topic for another show.
Right.
But it's a very compelling question.
Yeah.
And yeah, now, but it's not all doom and gloom. Product marketing is a fun role. It's the track I kind of came up through as well. Um, what have been when you reflect on your career journey and even what you're looking forward to do ahead, what paints a great experience for a product marketer? Like what can you cite some good examples of like where you see it really shining and what are the
Yes.
elements, what are the
Um,
things that create that
yeah.
environment?
Let me just, I'm thinking back to my career and the things that I feel fortunate to be able to been either part of or more importantly led, not necessarily as a manager, but just as an individual contributor as well.
Sure.
Um, Being able to position a company in the market.
Yeah.
Product marketers at their core, those who are very good at what they do, know the market and the customer really well.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
it's a great opportunity for them to be able to take the lead with all the other key stakeholders that are involved in that to be able to help position themselves in the market in a way that they can win in whatever way they want to define that. And the good news is that there are others who have come up with ways of doing that. You look at April Dunford,
Love
Michael
her.
Gospi Jr.
Yeah.
before her.
Yeah.
They all came from product marketing,
That's right.
and
And
they
it's such a
led
strategic
repositioning of it.
contribution that product marketing can make.
Yes, it
It's
does. And it's something that will uh, is applicable all the way up to the board. And
true.
so that becomes a chance for a product marketer to not just get in front of the company,
Yeah.
or the C-suite, but even the board of directors as
Yes.
well. And
That's
that's a huge opportunity to be able to really elevate that role.
absolutely. We're going to talk a little bit more about that too as we progress in this discussion, but I want to give you some other opportunities to talk about, creating a good environment for product marketing to thrive. What does
Hmm.
that look like?
I think for them to thrive, is very much around a couple of areas. One, product marketers need to step up and be a real customer champion.
Yeah.
And not internalize that, do it in silo. Turn it into something that the rest of the organization can use. Now you may say, well, hang on a minute, isn't that sales roles
Or customer success.
or
Yeah.
customer success
Right.
or something like that? But it's like, but okay, yes, they're part of that. But sales will be relaying what they heard this week from a prospect because that's the time frames that they're working on,
So true.
right?
Yeah.
And that's a really valid data point.
Yeah.
Product marketing is there to take that in, but in context of other things. Product and CS, they're going to be hearing what they heard from their last customer conversation
Yeah.
that they had, whenever that was.
Yeah.
We can take a much more holistic view of the market, not just talking to the customer. What about the non-customer?
Yeah.
Do
That's
product
right.
marketers ever talk to them? They should be. Finding out who they are and being like, look, no, you're not a customer. Maybe you never will be, but would love to get your feedback on something. And I've had success with that, where people are willing to share. And it's also the other thing that product marketers or great product marketers can do that puts them into a leadership position is being able to find the signal in the noise.
Yes. Yeah.
That's both an art and a science.
It definitely
Um,
is. Yeah. And you're looking for patterns too, right? You're looking for
mhm.
trends, patterns, repeating things that are on repeat, not
Yep,
on-offs. Right.
exactly. Great
Yeah.
use case for Gen AI, by the way,
Yes.
with that one.
Yes. Absolutely. Great use case for Troupe said. So
Awesome.
yes. Which kind of also segues a little like Troop is here to help product marketers and marketing team members measure what's actually happening with their messaging. But let's talk about measurement in general for product
Yeah,
marketing, not just
yeah.
specific to messaging. Product marketing, for me, having been a CMO and having managed product marketers and set their goals and their MBOs and all that stuff, and one of the biggest challenges has been to figure out what are the KPIs we're going to use to measure product marketing and whether they're successful or not. There's a few that kind of are low hanging fruit they're commonly agreed on, such as competitive win rate, right? Competitive wins, competitive losses. But a lot of times I feel like we're measuring outputs versus outcomes. So
Yes.
what's your take on this? As somebody who's been a product marketer, what do you want to be measured on and why has this been a struggle?
You are spot on. I too believer in outcomes, not outputs. I've met, interviewed other aspiring product marketers, and they will give me a laundry list of things that they have done.
Yeah,
And I'm sure they were all very good,
that's right.
but that's a what, like, but where's the so what,
You're
as I
talking
always
about
say.
things like I set up this many analyst conversations, I
I
produced
said it's
this
many
many
credit.
ebooks.
Exactly. We did this many training sessions for a product launch, or we wrote this many blog articles,
Yeah.
and so on and so forth. I mean, that's all good, but you know what? It's going to be too easy to say, and so what? Did
Yeah.
that make a difference, or did you just waste your time?
Yeah.
And so the challenge is that product marketers have been seen as very upstream
Yeah.
in things. Contrast that with the demand gen folks, right?
Right.
It's more easy to measure what they do, and that's why a lot of time they get picked to move into a leadership role.
Yeah.
But the thing is that um, if we look at the CMO, CMO is primarily measured on revenue and pipeline
Yes.
at the end of the day. That's what the board is asking them about, right? And the CEO. Now, I've also met product marketers who have said, "Oh, we launched this product and revenue grew 20%." And I'm
Okay.
like, "Really?
Hmm.
That's great, but did you have an SDR or were you the SDR?" How about the sales process? Did you write the contract and make sure it was in there and get that redlined?
Right.
You know, the list goes on. It's
What
like
is
there are too,
your contribution to
what
that?
is your contribution? Because there's too many factors involved into
There
that.
are.
I'm sure it had a contribution.
But don't you
Um,
think product marketing has kind of leaned on that a little bit? Like that's been convenient?
that's convenient, but that's the
I'm going
thing,
to
it's
be a little
convenient.
controversial
But
here. Like, is
if
it like,
yeah,
but I can point to the fact that how can you make me accountable for that when there's all these other factors that can contribute to it? Well, that's true for anybody who's being measured against
that's
productivity.
true. That is true. That's the thing. It's a contribution, right? But that's when it's a role that is so upstream, it is more tenuous. I'm going to say that
Yeah.
to say that there's a direct connection to that. Were you involved? Sure. You know what? So were the recruiting team. You
Mhm.
know what? Because they recruited some great salespeople, and those salespeople contributed to the revenue more directly. Therefore, they had a contribution too, you could argue.
Right.
So therefore, what to do?
Yeah.
What to do? As you alluded to, there are specific metrics and KPIs that you can have a more direct influence on
Yeah.
that influence directly the big ones like pipeline and revenue and what have you.
Yeah.
So you mentioned one, competitive win rate. Why is that important? Well, a higher win rate means that you are converting your pipeline. You've got a higher quality pipeline, is what you're doing. Win rate, you can say you can directly influence. You did competitive intelligence and positioning.
Yeah.
You focused on messaging that was leading to differentiators that were of true value to the
Yeah.
target customer that you had.
Yeah.
You had an ICP and you nailed it. You
Yes.
didn't have a whole bunch of duds in your pipeline, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can now point to stories that directly influence that number, which then directly influence pipeline revenue.
That's
I
right.
could go on. Um, Deal acceleration, deal conversion rates.
Yeah,
So I
because
could
not
say,
every
yeah,
deal is a competitive deal, right?
not every deal is a competitive deal, and there may be reasons why things get stalled at certain stages.
Yeah.
Well, if I could find that, figure out what I can do to address that, and then measure that impact, then I can actually, for example, maybe either lower customer acquisition cost. There's a KPI for you.
Yes.
Um, Average deal size could
Yes.
go up. Time to close, bring it down.
Velocity. That's right.
These
Yep.
all count and are significant, and you can actually go in and look at them and measure the difference. And a lot of the time, in those cases, it's messaging. Your messaging may have been correct, but it wasn't right. And I've been through this before whereby we had great messaging when we launched and no business.
So I think said differently, when you say it might have been accurate, but it wasn't effective.
Well, it wasn't effective. You could look at it that way, exactly. All we had to do was just reorder. We just led with the wrong thing. And when we pivoted that way quickly, we
Yeah.
saw the change.
Yeah.
So it's things like that. Time to value.
Yeah.
If you're talking about the customer side of things, once they're onboarded. So you could say we basically introduced in-product marketing and in-product onboarding, which is a great area for product marketing, and time to value for the customer was reduced.
I love
Um,
these are
yeah, it's things like this. And yeah, of course, then there are other things like advocacy, analyst relations, and
yeah.
what have you. And
Yeah.
that's all good
Yeah. Of
and
course.
important to track. But some of those other ones are more direct and more what the C-suite and board are going to be looking at.
I think your point is well taken, Ali, that, you mentioned demand generation folks often being, more likely to be tapped for that CMO seat because they can point to hard metrics, they can point to hard numbers, and they have the data to back that up. Um, Product marketing has that opportunity too. They just have to
Yes.
really embrace, but also drive that measurement, right? They have to promote it. I think marketers can, and I don't know if this is true for product marketers more so than others, maybe don't do as good of a job promoting themselves internally and promoting their work and their accomplishments, but it's hard to do that without data. So you need to be able to embrace actual measurement data to do.
Yes. Somebody I shared this with me the other day and I'm stealing it. So you know who you are. Sorry.
Somebody said, don't
Um,
say steal, say
uh,
borrow. I'm
the-
borrowing.
What is it? What is it they say? Amateurs copy, professionals steal. Is that what they
Oh,
say?
is that right? Okay.
Measurability by design.
Yeah. Yeah.
So even before you start doing these things, sit down and figure out what do we want to actually measure and how are we going to do that?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that as you go through and you work through plans and you work through details and you start to move into execution, you've always got that view into what are we impacting here? And are we still aligned with that? Or have we taken a left turn somewhere and we've gone and done something that is no longer measurable? Really start up front. Don't think that, we do all these things. Okay, now what do we want to measure? What do we want to measure? And then do things.
Love it. And you had mentioned a bit ago getting that visibility with a board of directors. Now, oftentimes that doesn't necessarily happen if, as a head of product marketing, you are reporting to the CMO. The CMO is
Hmm.
the one that's at the board meetings and has that visibility. However, your contributions, I believe, having been the CMO at those board meetings, can creep into the presentation deck, right? Whatever the CMO is presenting to the board, when they are able to present data and hard metrics and hard numbers that are provided to them from the product marketer, that is going to be shared with the board of directors, even if that product marketer isn't there at the table. And that
Correct.
is going to get recognized. That is going to be
Yes.
seen.
Absolutely. So it depends on your organization, how big it is,
Mhm.
whether it's public or private, and so on. So there's a lot of factors of whether you will get that chance to be in front of the board or not. However, like you said, you can be pretty sure that your marketing leader, it could even be your product leader as well. It could be somebody else, is
True.
going to come to you
Yeah.
to ask for contributions and content into that deck and conversation and materials that will be shared either with the rest of the C-suite or with the board
Yeah.
in some way or another. You will get representation, and now that you will 100% get recognition. You may even then get the invitation by the C-suite and the board to be like, why don't you come along instead and present? We'd love to hear more from you.
Yeah.
They don't know everything.
It's true.
That's the thing. Especially, that's what I find, investors and board members, they've got other companies that they're worrying about. And
Yeah.
so if you can bring them something new to the table, that is also strategic and directional in nature, they love it and appreciate it.
Yeah. I think one of the other things I've heard a few times talking with product marketers who, you know, have not been that they have not owned all of marketing. They've been in their product marketing role. They're sort of comfy there and a bit hesitant to think about themselves as a CMO, right? Like, can
Yes.
can I do that? Because maybe they don't have their arms around the demand gen engine as much as they, would like, or, PR or branding. Maybe those are unfamiliar or less familiar or less comfortable areas for them. But how could a product marketer get comfortable with the idea of being a CMO?
Yeah. Yeah. Here's the way I talk about it. You're already a CMO.
Okay. All
Product
right.
marketers are already a CMO. It's a
Mhm.
bold statement, but I mean it. I'll tell you why. Um, I've been talking to board members, CEOs, other members of the C-suite to ask them, what are the traits that you look for in a marketing leader?
Mhm.
What do you want to see? And there were four things that were common in my
Okay.
conversations that
Yeah.
came up just every time. First of all, they want a marketing leader who understands and evangelizes the customer
Okay. Yep.
and everything that's involved in that.
Yeah.
Second thing, they want a marketer who can talk about the product confidently.
Hmm.
I've come across marketing leaders who would like, if you ask them about the product, they'll be like, "Oh, let me get my product guy," right?
Totally. It's weird,
And
but
marketing
yes.
leaders need to be able to stand up on a stage, get on a podcast, whatever it may be, and be able to talk about the product confidently
Yes. And with credibility. Yeah.
and with credibility. Exactly. Thirdly, they don't have to know about every single thing that happens in marketing.
Right. That's what you have your team for.
That's what you have your team for. They need to know how to build a team and
Yeah.
where their roles are and what
Yeah.
role that they play.
Yeah.
and then get great people to be able to do their things and do their best.
Right.
That's the third thing. And then the fourth thing is what we've already said. They want to see plans that are based on outcomes, not outputs.
Yes.
Not a throw a bunch of spaghetti on the wall and see what happens. No, they do not want to see marketers who do what somebody else called checklist marketing.
Yes. Yeah. That's right.
They want to see what are the outcomes of this.
I love I love that those four things that I think you nailed it with that, or the people you've been talking to nailed it without realizing it because you've aggregated from those conversations. That's very good product marketing, by the way, Ali. Aggregated all of that
What I
into your
say.
head. It's perfect.
But the thing
Um,
is, name me a marketing role where all four of those can be checked off.
True. It's true. And
That's
you
product
did
marketing.
describe at the top of this conversation that big tent, that big umbrella that product marketing touches. Well, should do more than just touch. They should really kind of be driving forward on all of
Driving,
those things.
yes.
Often understaffed, by the way, to cover all of them adequately.
Yep.
But yeah, no, this is great. I think, I would love to see more product marketing people in the CMO seat because it is such a strategic role. And it really is about that sort of long-term staying power of a company in the market and giving that company, I'm going to use similar to your agile word, I'm going to use resiliency. Don't hate me. Um, but
If you're
it's
playing buzzword bingo right
there
now, I
you
think
go.
you might have a whole line.
Yeah. This has been a great conversation. I guess just in closing, like, why don't you like tell a little plug for Product Marketing Alliance and how is that organization helping product marketers prepare for this? What do you love about it since you've been so involved with them?
Yeah, no, it's I've been involved with them since the Product Marketing Alliance was basically a Slack group.
Oh,
So it's going back to then, and it's still there.
yeah.
And it's a huge community now. But that to me is the main thing about the Product Marketing Alliance is the community side of things.
Mhm.
I've had a chance to make friends, learn from a lot of people, be inspired to think about things differently,
Yeah.
hire some fantastic people through the alliance that I've met,
Nice.
and be able to guide, coach, and mentor
Yeah.
others as well through this community. So that's the main aspect of it for me. But other areas too. You mentioned this at the beginning, the recognition. So the Product Marketing Alliance, like you said, have been doing a great job to elevate
Yeah.
the role and individuals. And so I was really blessed and honored to be a finalist for Product Marketing Leader this year. And for the fourth time, if I may,
Oh,
be a top
good.
100 product marketer as well. Yes, they have content, templates, training, certifications.
Yeah.
Yeah, all fine. Check them out. There are other options out there too, but
I
worth
love
checking
it.
out
Yeah,
as
no,
well.
Troop has been to a couple of their events. We've been really impressed,
Yeah,
and cont hope that we can continue to increase our involvement with them as well. So it's
that's
awesome.
great. That's awesome.
I
So
love it. So
if you're watching this, not part of the alliance, I mean, actually, not just product marketing. They have said they have a number of other
this
alliances,
is true.
including a
They have
CMO
sales
alliance.
enablement. They have
Yeah,
GTM. Yep.
exactly. So worth checking out. And if you get a chance, go to one of the events and you can meet and hear from others. It's well worth it.
Super. Ali, it's been so wonderful to talk to you. I will look forward to future conversations with you. I wish you all the best and congratulations again on your recognition. So,
Oh my God, amazing. Thank you, Jennifer. It's so great to be here, and it's always a pleasure to speak to you and the Troop team. So
oh,
thank you.
thank you. Talk to you later. Bye.
Talk to you later.